Hey YouTube, it's Zoe, or Read by Zoe, and today I'm going to do my July wrap-up and August TBR. It's already August. How is that possible? Because I feel like we just started summer break, and now it is August 2nd, and I go to college in 18 days. What? Now let's start my July wrap-up. I read 12 and a half books and one novella. I'm pretty proud of myself. That's pretty good reading. The first thing that I read during July was The Goddess Hunt by Amy Carter. This is the novella between The Goddess Test and Goddess Interrupted. I have not read Goddess Interrupted yet, so I really don't know how this novella is going to play into that book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. This was so good. It was great. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, obviously, and what it's about this girl named Amy, and her dad just died, so her mom and the rest of her family want to move to Connecticut where her grandma lives, and they now live in Southern California. Amy has to bring the car from Southern California to Connecticut, but she doesn't want to drive, so an old family friend, Roger, has to drive with her, and on the way to Connecticut, they go on a detour. An epic detour. The cool thing about this book is that there's more than just words in here. There are playlists and there are different signs. There are old receipts. It's really cool. The next book that I read was That Summer by Sarah Dessen. This was the first book that she ever published back in the 90s. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This was not my favorite. I felt like it was kind of boring. The next book that I read was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to really tell you what it's about because that's the whole deal of this book, is that you go into it not knowing anything. The next book that I read was Spirit Bound by Rochelle Mead. This is the 5th book in the Vampire Academy series. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This series got so good. The first couple of books, they were kind of slow, still good, but these are way more fast-paced and they're fantastic. The next book that I picked up was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and I picked this book up randomly. I was just at Target and I saw it from afar and I was like, hey, book, you look good. I'm gonna read you. Also, the book is short, and it was during Booktubeathon, and I wanted to read a lot of books during Booktubeathon, so I read a lot of short books. It's also a classic, and I have not read a lot of classics in my 18 years, only for school, not for pleasure. So I picked this book up, and it was excellent. 5 out of 5 stars. After I finished The Outsiders, I finished Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. 5 out of 5 stars. It's about first love in the 1980s, and they also come from very different living situations. They have different insecurities. It's cute, and a little sad, but mostly cute. The next book that I read was Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. This is her autobiography, and it was so good. I love Mindy Kaling and the Mindy Project and The Office, and she's just so cool, and it shows in this book. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. It just wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. Then I read Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, the last book in the Vampire Academy series. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was a great conclusion to the series. I just was a little aggravated at Rose. Rose, she was cool in the beginning. In the first couple of books, she was kick-butt, female character. I loved her, and then things happened, and she just took advantage of Adrian. The next book that I read was The Giver by Lois Lowry. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I read it in anticipation for the movie that's going to come out. And side note, I just saw the trailer for the movie and it looks pretty different from the book. Because in the book he's supposed to be like 12, 13 years old, and in the movie he's like 18, and also there's romance in the movie, and there's no romance in here. The beginning of this book was really strong and interesting, and I flew through the first couple of pages. The middle, it just got kind of boring, and then the ending was very abrupt. The next book that I read was The Help by Catherine Stockett. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book, and I loved the movie, and the adaptation from the book to movie was very, very, very close. I felt like I was watching the movie in my mind, which is what a book should be like. The last book that I finished this month was Stolen by Lucy Christopher, and I just posted my book review and discussion on this book, so if you want to know more about it, watch that video. In short, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. It was fabulous, one of my favorite books of all time. Now on to my August TBR. I don't usually like to do TBRs. I just like to go with the flow and read what I'm feeling at that time. But this month I'm planning on reading a lot of books with specific people at specific times. So I have a TBR. The first 2 books that I'm going to share with you all are not books that I'm planning on reading with other people. They're just books that I've already started during August. So they're on my TBR because I'm planning on finishing them. And the first book is Crest by Marissa Meyer, the third book in the Lunar Chronicles. It's very, very, very good so far. I started it in July. The next book is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is the third book in the companion series with Anne and the French Kiss and Lola and the Boy Next Door. This came to me early yesterday. I pre-ordered it about 2 months ago and it came to me early, which I'm not complaining. I already finished the book. I read it in one night last night, and I cried and I giggled and it was great. Then I'm going to read 3 books with 3 different booktubers, and the first book that I'm planning on reading is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, the first book in the Lux series. I have not read this book yet, obviously, and neither has Jack Eats Books, and we're going to be reading this book together. The last book in the series comes out in a few months, so we want to get caught up before it comes out. The next book that I'm planning on reading is If I Stay by Gail Forman. I'm planning on reading this with Beatrice over at Books Overlooks. The movie comes out later this month, and I'm very excited. This seems like a really good book, but we both have not read it yet, so we're gonna do that. The last book that I'm planning on reading this month is Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I'm planning on reading this with Raylene over at Padfoot and Prong 07. We both ended up randomly picking up this book, and we wanted to read it together, so that's what we're gonna plan on doing. That was my July wrap-up and August TBR. I hope you enjoyed. I won't be posting videos for a couple of days because I will be in New Orleans for the first time. We're going on a little road trip to New Orleans, and I will be eating food and looking at voodoo dolls. Whatever you do in New Orleans, I will be doing. I won't have my laptop, so I won't be able to post any videos, but I will have my phone, so I'll be on Instagram and Twitter. I hope you are having a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!